Hey, what's going on, guys? Stevie Evie here. You're gonna hear an echo because I'm actually in a weird spot in the upstairs right now. So I just realized something. We roughly had about 6 months ago that we had a ban list prediction video, and I figured the Konami date for this next ban list is supposed to be no sooner than July 1st. It's currently July, I think, 9th or 10th. I figured we'd do ourselves a little ban list prediction video. Plus, as I've done it previously, we're going to look at a little bit about the upcoming set, Rising Rampage. We have some stuff that is confirmed in the set. Marincess is confirmed as far as I'm concerned. I haven't actually looked too much at the set. And as I'm talking to you, well, you've probably already guessed our old buddy Needle Fiber is still waiting in limbo. Why am I excited for Needle Fiber to actually hit the meta? I have no idea. I really don't. But to be completely honest with you, if it does hit the meta, it hits the meta totally. I'm not really too worried about whether or not it hits the meta or not. Let's just say I invested a decent amount of cards actually into the card to actually hope that it actually hits the meta. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. So, moving on. Anyway, we're about, I want to say, maybe about 2 weeks away from this new list. So let's talk about the cards that more than likely are going to be getting the axe in this list. Our number one slot is probably going to go to our old buddy, and that is, apparently everyone thinks it would have been Nightmare Mermaid, but supposedly it's the one that it produces, I think. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not the one that it produces. It's, surprisingly enough, somebody else had thought of it, an alternate option to Mermaid, because apparently everyone thinks Mermaid is currently the issue. I guess the real issue, according to a person I played on Saturday, is Rusty Bardish, the Phantom Knight Link monster we got in the Legendary Duelist set, which is actually accurate because at this current point, the rumor at this point is that we're supposed to get all the reprints from everything from Flames to Soul Fusion, and because Soul Fusion is getting a reprint. Well, I mean, not Soul Fusion, I'm sorry, it's from Flames to Soul Fusion, but in the inclusion to that is the Dark Saviors, which is basically all the Sky Striker cards. We're just approaching a, what is it called? A reprint set, the Battles of Legend, which the pre-sales have changed quite a bit for it. But, the one thing about this set is, the Dark Saviors is that it gets multiple printings to it. But the fact that Flames actually has a copy of all the Nightmare cards in it as, printings. And we're told to get different rarities for all these different cards. Not confirmed yet, not for sure. But I would guess that if they would bump Mermaid up to an Ultra Rare, or potentially even a Secret Rare or Prismatic, because Prismatic was confirmed for this Megaton we're approaching next month, that could be a possibility. So Rusty Bardish being banned could be a possibility. Any other bans as far as it's concerned, I would potentially say that we could potentially see a, I don't want to say, like specifically what it might be. I'm trying to think, actually. Think before I actually say. I feel that, I feel that, honestly, when it came down to the big three, that was the one thing that everyone had on their minds. I mean, they could technically hit Glow Ball, but if Needle Fiber actually does hit the meta. Cherubini actually came out and it made no effect whatsoever. They could bump some Burning Abyss monsters up to 2s. Not guaranteed, though. We've had a very mixed, different list from what Japan currently has. The one thing that I will say, though, is the big three, as I'm currently talking, because, like I said, I talked about the big three last list. The big three currently are Sky Striker Mine, which is what my one friend said. It was one of the top players. Salamangreat, and our good old buddy Thunder Dragon still sitting up there, because Thunder Danger is still a pretty good deck. So we very well could see potentially something hit the Thunder Danger. Solar could be hit to maybe 1. I don't know. Actually, that doesn't sound that good of a hit, honestly. You'd have to hit something like, I don't really know if the Dangers actually do have anything that could potentially get hit. I don't think Nessie's really that big of a problem. There's something in Thunder Danger that I eventually think they have to touch. People were talking about one of the 2-link Guard Dragons. Pixie is apparently the one that they were kind of aiming for. Even though Agripane still pops out a monster at the end of the day, I guess it just doesn't help you as much. Supposedly, I don't know. As far as cards that could potentially come back, I think it's about time that we get ourselves a good old-fashioned, list like we did last one, where we potentially get a few things off. Wouldn't mind seeing Pot of Evers. I said that last video that we had this. I would enjoy potentially seeing Time Seal, maybe. I don't know. There's some sort of thing that you could potentially do with the card. Potentially an Exceed back we haven't seen in a while. No guarantees, though, because as Konami goes, we just don't really know what to expect. And it's all about making the money. The money isn't reprint cards unless you actually reprint the cards in the set. We could be seeing some cards hit to 2, maybe Called by the Grave, maybe to 2 again. Or who knows, maybe even Maxi to maybe 2 or 1, I'm sorry. Because it actually wouldn't actually go anywhere from, 2, from 0 to 2. Hand traps, as far as that's concerned, there's nothing really that actually could potentially get hit currently right now that does really matter. I guess it goes down to what exactly currently is being affected, which is Sky Strikers. People are talking about Engage to 1 right after this stuff gets reprinted, but we're still early yet, and I feel like the card that currently they can hit is actually going to be Widow Anchor. So Widow Anchor to 2 more than likely is an option, or 1. And Trickstars was another one that was kind of a hot button topic, because it survived these lists for so long to the point where someone considered, well, why has this deck has been hit or has not been hit. So more than likely, there's a chance that it could get hit. We could have Reincarnation to 1, or in some cases late stage to 1, because late stage currently is the problem if it actually was affected. But moving on to our good friend, the Elephant in the Room. If you've watched this video this long, thank you, and I enjoy you guys for watching these videos. As weirdly placed as these videos currently are, because usually we're sitting on a bed. We're not sitting on a bed right now. But anyway, our good old buddy, the thing that actually helped me out when locals, Mystic Mine. The card more than likely has to go to 1. It's very unfair in the game. When you have a Nationals actually take longer than expected for most rounds, because a card is so degenerative that it's actually played in a top tier deck such as Sky Strikers, that tells you that the card is unbalanced and unfair. And the fact that if you actually load your deck up with enough outs to actually, stop your opponent, the card basically sits there and says, if you don't have it out, you're either going to deck out or you're going to lose. Which is kind of sad, but that's the truth. Because really, nobody could out a Mystic Mine. Especially one that's backed with a couple of counter traps that respond to you from stopping it. So let's just say that Mystic Mine should really get a hit pretty soon, even though I enjoy the card quite a bit. Doesn't mean everyone does. So, like I said, as we mentioned in this video, that there's a lot of cards that potentially need to get hit. There's some cards that could come back. We're approaching a brand new set, which my one friend had previously mentioned. Usually when we approach a new set, they take the initiative to try and, adjust the list. The last no sooner than I believe was back in like, I want to say it was like April or something like that. I think we got it towards the end of April. So, and it seems to happen every single time we usually have a new set. So this could be 3 weeks down the line. I'm not really sure. They usually have to try and construct a general idea about which decks, for the most part, are the ones that we want to focus towards. Decks that more than likely aren't going to get hit. These are the ones that, for the most part, are the ones that, in my opinion, are the safest things to play right now. True Draco is one. You could definitely count on that deck, I would say. Definitely an annoying deck. It gave me issues on round 1 at the first locals I went to on Saturday. Altergeist is another. I think it gets some more support. Almirage is coming out the end of this week. Feel free to stop and pick yourself up at Almirage so you can search out your Multifaker. Definitely a good card. Another deck that I would definitely suggest if you actually play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! The deck is nowhere near even on the radar of anything that Konami could consider to be relevant, is Nekroz. You know, if you can, get your hands on some. Because the deck is roughly, I want to say, not even $50 to build. And we get ourselves an upgrade of Nekroz Cycle in this set as a secret rare. Definitely a good card to pick up. Definitely a good deck to pick up. Doesn't hurt to, you know, have a fun deck in your back pocket to play. I don't know. Sky Striker seems like it's a possibility, depending on how things end up playing out. As far as other decks go, let's think. What other decks were actually in the top bracket? I really don't know. I just know that the top 3, more than likely, those 3 that are going to get hit. Sky Strikers, True Draco Thunder. Or not True Draco Thunder, I'm sorry. That doesn't even sound like a deck. I'm sorry, it's True Draco. Not even, I keep saying True Draco. Danger Thunder Dragon. And our good old buddy, I think we said Sky Striker previously, Salmon Great. Salad is more than likely going to get hit. Oh, speaking of Salad, we are going to potentially see Gazelle hitting to 1. That was what OCG had done. We might copy them, we might not. Depends on exactly how they want to approach the situation. Last time we got something, it was Lady Debug to 1. So, anything can happen, really. Oh, and here's another different deck that I would previously mention. If you ever wanted to play a competitive deck, Cyber Dragon is right up there, too. It's an enjoyable deck. You can definitely enjoy playing a different variant of it. Burning Abyss, more than likely, it's not getting hit anytime soon. Pick up yourselves some Burning Abyss cards. The core more than likely cost you anywhere from like 50 to 80 bucks to complete the deck. Right off the bat, I want to say. But there's a lot of different outs to the deck. Enjoyable, you know, options. As far as other decks go that you could potentially play, there's... Yeah, I can't honestly think off the top of my head. Gladiator Beast did get support coming up. So, pick up your Glad stuff. Get ready for the next set after Rising Rampage. That's when we're supposed to get more Gladiator Beast support. So this was the video, and thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for understanding these weird circumstances of videos currently right now. I'm unable to currently leave here, and like I said, if you don't know where here is, that's great, because I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be deck profile. We'll be doing another deck profile tonight. This one will be Burning Abyss. Alright, thank you, and I'll talk to you later. CVV out.